He is hitting after an 0 for 4 day yesterday, 158. He did get the walk-off in extra innings on Saturday.
Right.
So it wasn't all bad for Triston Casas, though I don't know that his teammates were overly fired up for him.
I needed the run line that day, not the money line, so that did not help me.
What do you do with Triston Casas if you're the Red Sox? Like, they're already doing what I think they can by dropping him down in the order and trying to take some pressure off. He's already not playing every single day, right? I think he played in 3 out of the 4 games in this series, so he's already getting days off against lefties. What else can you do? How long is the leash for a guy like Triston Casas who, I mean, even people who were down on him were expecting more than this?
Well, thankfully for him, other guys in the lineup are hitting, right? Like, I don't think their offense is exactly where you want it to be. He's one of the reasons because he was penciled in as the cleanup hitter to start the year. But guys like Story and guys like Bregman and guys like Christian Campbell are at least hitting. You're winning more games than you're losing as of late. They don't have a great backup plan at first base, first of all. But the expectation for him is so high, right? Like, oh, well, he just was battling injuries the last couple of years, but if he's healthy, Craig Breslow said 40, 110, 120 for him. 40 home runs.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He's got 1. He's sitting on 1.
He just missed one on Saturday. If you want to give him the second one?
I'm not going to give him that one. I was just looking at his stats, and it's wild. So he's hitting $158, which is obviously terrible.
Sounds high.
It is. I don't remember all those hits.
Yeah, where'd they all come from?
466 OPS. Another thing that kind of just stands out, he has scored 3 runs. I know that's not like a number we look at a lot, but just compared to the other guys on the team, Carlos Narvaez has scored 6 runs.
Wow.
Triston
doubled him up.
Doubled him up. Yeah. And he's played way less games, but Casas isn't doing anything. So what do? You kind of need this guy. Also, if you're projecting forward, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. isn't joining the Red Sox next year.
Gone.
So he is your first baseman for this season. And either you're praying that he's your first baseman next season, or you could trade him. And like right now, his trade value would be in the absolute toilet. Even if if he plays out this year, I think you have to stick with him for, I don't know, a couple weeks.
So we talked about
a couple
this last
more
week.
weeks. I mean, yeah.
I was like, ideally, you get to June 1st. You get through the first 2 months of the year. Yeah,
that's patient.
But I'm saying I don't actually think I can get that far.
Okay.
I think the fair thing to do would be make it that far.
Yeah.
I can't keep watching this.
But
I can't keep watching this.
It's bad.
If this is what it is
bad.
for 2 months. Like I got impatient a long time ago, Keefe. We were probably doing weekends at the Sports Hub at the time. Mm-hmm. David Ortiz had those slow starts in, what was it, like 08 and 09. And people were getting impatient. Maybe it was 9-10. I forget the exact year.
Yeah.
With David Ortiz, I was getting impatient.
Right.
I'm like, it's May.
Yeah.
Do something with this guy. Now, obviously, I was wrong.
Yes.
If you want to say that that's an example, or Pedroia, or a million other ones
stands out.
Are examples of guys that you need to be patient with, well, then fine. I get it. It's baseball. Guys are ice cold. Guys heat up. It does happen. But I'm just making the point. I barely had the patience for an all-time great Red Sox like David Ortiz.
Yeah, Casas not that.
Never mind this guy.
No, I know. Well, if Roman Anthony played first base, this would be a much different conversation. If Marcelo Meyer played first base, this would be a different conversation. There is no backup. Every other first baseman that we're talking about isn't even actually a first baseman. Like Romy Gonzalez, not a first baseman. He's playing out of position when he plays over there. Some of the other, people are like, what about Devers? What about this guy? Nobody else is actually a first baseman. Like, they need him to figure it out. They expected him to be, as long as he was healthy, to be really good. And he's been terrible. And so at what point does a slow start just turn into like an awful season? Because Rafael Devers couldn't have gotten out to a slower start. And it actually also took a lot of the attention away from Casas, because he was also in a just as bad of a funk.
Devers has not been much better than
he
Casas.
hasn't.
I mean,
but he at
he's
least
been better, but not by much.
But Devers at least heated up a little bit, but now he's cooled back off. But he had that historic 0 for 20, 15 Ks or whatever the numbers were. Casas was in like a similar boat, but people were all fixated on Devers. And you're right. Maybe we should start talking about Devers again, because he has really cooled off. He's hitting .213. He only has 2 home runs.
Right.
So he's not doing a lot better. But
in fairness, he's walked a bunch. The strikeouts have plateaued. I mean, they were horrendous.
Oh, his OPS is
in the first 4
200
games.
and something points higher. So
Even
he's not playing well, but he's way better than Casas.
2 homers and 12 RBI. Exactly. I was just going to say, I mean, I said he hasn't been that much better. He's been better. Yeah. I mean, I think people were celebrating a little too quickly when he had like one hot series, like the whole team did against the Cardinals. But whatever, he's been much better than Casas.
No, Casas has been brutal. And this is, is this going to be solely a Alex Cora decision? Is this a Breslow decision? Like, where does this go to? Because they don't have an obvious replacement.
Let me invite a little bit more.
Okay.
Is it the decision of the team on some level? Like, do they look at it and go, they can't stand this guy? And Keefe, you and I are two of the few who have watched most of the Clubhouse. I still haven't finished it.
I haven't finished
it.
it.
I watched 6 of the first 8.
Yeah.
I still have 2 sitting there waiting to watch.
Whatever you want.
It's in line behind Celtic City. I got other stuff to watch. I got things going on.
It's NBA playoffs
Not much in my life, to be clear. But I got things going on. I got those last 2 that I got to watch.
Andor starts tonight.
But there are times where you look at Triston Casas and you're like, oh, okay, other teammates don't mind him. Cutter Crawford, like, I know you guys were really annoyed watching that breakfast. I think Cutter Crawford kind of likes him, if I had to judge. I think Duran...
or he's just being polite in front of the camera.
Maybe he's just a super polite guy.
No, maybe they like Casas.
Duran seems to kind of put up with him.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of times, Keefe, where he's in there and he makes a bad play at first base. And Brian Bayo is freezing him out.
Bayo runs hot, though, I think.
He does.
Yeah.
He did that to Wong. He did that to Duran. He did that in fairness to a lot of people. Good point. There's another time, I think it was a Yankee series, where Casas doubles and he has a brain fart and starts trying to steal third and gets thrown out by a country mile. And he comes to the dugout and the whole team, Cora,
iced him.
The whole team iced him out.
They don't even talk to him.
I don't want to say they quite did that after the walk-off over the weekend, Keefe.
Oh.
But it was not a jubilant celebration. We're going to play you some audio from Casas coming up.
Okay.
Where he's kind of, after the game, they'll do this on NESN all the time. They'll get the guy who gets the walk-off, and they'll come dump a Gatorade cooler on his head. And the whole interview, Casas is kind of looking over his shoulder. He's like, looking over his shoulder. I was like, And finally, at the end of the interview, he's like, kind of thought I was going to get a Gatorade bath. So I don't know that it's just a Breslow decision, who I think Breslow will be patient with him.
Yeah.
I think if it were up to Cora, they already would have moved on. And I'm starting to wonder about the clubhouse and how they feel about him, because I think there's now some tangible evidence that they don't seem the biggest fans of Triston Casas.
No, I know. And when you go back and look at it, his rookie year, he was like hot for a couple months, like at the end. And is that kind of what we're basing all this on? And like the hope and the expectation on what he can be? Because last year was really a lost season for him. And it was one of those ones where they put the timetable on it, but the timetable was so ridiculous. I think that when they first announced his rib injury, he was like, like 3 to 9 weeks. You're like, why even do that?
What did he say again? He's like, the doctor told me it was like a car crash. They've never seen anything like it.
It's just because I'm big and I swing. I'm like, yeah, you're the only big guy in baseball who swings. Give me a break. No idea what he's talking about. But yeah, last year he played in 63 games. So his rookie year he played in 132, but if I remember correctly, it was really the last couple of months he kind of turned it on, got pretty hot, and finished with 24 home runs and at least like a really promising future. But how long do you stick with a guy like that? Because, like, to your point, there have been other guys with established track records like David Ortiz, or when we were going through the Devers numbers, you found like a few other guys, right, that had horrible starts.
Devers has the track record.
But you have a baseball card, you can look at the back of, and
yes.
You're like, all right, well, I know he's going to do this. Like, what do we know about Triston Casas? He's never played a full season. So I don't know if we're like, he's going to snap out of it at some point. It's like, well, based on what?
So we get these a lot. Roman Anthony, you could start working him out at first base. I'd be more open to that than Marcelo Meyer. I see a text on that, 617-779-7937. Guys, they've got to have Meyer play some first in AAA.
All right, I got an idea for you.
What did Meyer tell us when we...
just wants to play in the majors.
Friend of the show?
Yep. Best friend.
We talked to him. He put the big meat hook on Keefe and my shoulder.
Oh, he's got huge mitts. First baseman mitts.
When we talked to him, he said he was going to play, I forget, was it 4 days at short and then a day at second and a day at third? Is that what he told us?
Yeah, maybe mixing a day at first.
Okay, so maybe they start mixing in a day at first. I personally wouldn't do that. I would not waste Meyer at first. Anthony, I would consider. I'm not even sure I'd do that.
No.
But I consider that. We're getting texts on Ref Snyder. You've brought up, or maybe you were about to bring up again, Yoshida is one you've talked about.
Yeah, but that got shot down because he's like a pocket-sized guy. But I saw somebody text me.
He's a teeny tiny, itty-bitty little guy.
I got an idea over the weekend from someone. They said...
so someone else had an idea.
Yeah, I'm just passing it along. They don't have a show right now, so I'll pass it along.
Someone else had an idea.
Not my idea. Well, neither was the Yoshida idea. I don't have any ideas. Okay. So Yoshida is apparently too small, right? That's what everybody says. They see him there. Too small. He's 5'8".
Yeah.
Which, whatever. You can play big at 5'8". You wear, like, high cleats or something.
Yeah.
Christian Campbell. Do you know how tall Christian Campbell is?
I don't. 6.
Go ahead.
1.3. Nice.
6'3". Does that sound like a first baseman to you?
Sounds like the size. I mean, he's a bit of a beanpole over there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's thin.
Look, Keefe,
he's wiry.
Keefe, I already told you this.
He's
If,
weary.
if you're just worried about the target at first base and a lot of mass, surface area, stick Devers over there.
No,
if you
range.
if you want a target,
do you want a tall guy over at first base?
You know what? Campbell, I had not considered. Really not.
How good is he at second base?
Okay, does the bat play at first?
Yeah, well, if you're getting like Meyer in at second, because Casas is your first baseman right now. How's his bat?
Oh, good point.
So I'm just looking at like an overall upgrade.
But that's kind of the Will Campbell logic of like, well, he's better at left tackle than anything you got. It's like, well, right, but is he a left tackle? So Campbell would be a better bat at first base than Casas. Who wouldn't right now, based on the way they're hitting?
No, they all do better.
But is he a bat at first base?
Well,
I don't know about that.
He's got more power than I thought.
Fair.
Campbell. So maybe he can do it. And if you have an infield of Campbell, Meyer, Story, Bregman, that's pretty good, right? Especially if Meyer comes up and if he's also hitting. So maybe you lose some of the power. Because like the power was all projected with Casas. Like we haven't seen it. I mean, his rookie year, 24 taters? Like, all right, that's good. But
Breslow's doing
put 40
most of the
on
projecting.
it.
Yeah.
He's supposed to, like, based on that, Breslow thought he was going to lead the team in home runs.
It's true.
You guys not even close.